probably 10 years ago now. Ken was talking with my tech and got some pickups sent out and tried them and really liked them. But I was with a different company and stuff, and it just wasn't really the time. Once that change came around, it was just a natural kind of movement. There's a lot of differences between the way the pickups are made, and because of that, I wasn't able to tune, it's not so easy to tune a standard pickup. Coils, but you tweak a lot of stuff, and what happens is you get more of this, and then you lose some of this. And you try to lose some of this, and now you gain some of this that you don't want. And so it ends up being this thing where you push over here, and then this rises. And you don't want that. So what's really cool about Fishman's tech is the way that you guys do this stuff allows like a surgical tweaking of stuff, like exactly where you want it, in order to tweak what you want and not have to murder off something else in order to get it. And to me, that's, what else is there?
What I learned, and I never expected it, but in the the metal world and the prog world, these guys are equipment brilliant. You guys know more about equipment than anyone I ever ran into. Look what you went through designing your speakers, right? I mean, I'm talking about serious tech here. It was the appreciation for them knowing what they wanted and being able to articulate it, and that's where Fluence really came in, because when we voice a pickup for you, you know where you're going, you know where you want it to do, and we can do it in real time.
Literally nailed what I wanted.
Exactly.
Right then and there, right in front of me.
Right, and you can't do that with traditional pickup building techniques. So that is kind of the joy of what we're doing, is we can get people that really know what they want, plug them into their own gear, their own rig, go in there, do a little typing, a little turning. This is all done in the digital realm, just for understanding what the filter sets need to look like and the sound. But once we nail it, bang, we take that information, we download the parameters, and then we get our analog filter genius to reproduce it in pure analog form right inside the pickup. So that's kind of the Fluence formula, the recipe. But, you can have the best restaurant in the world, but if the people that come in there don't know what good food is supposed to taste like, well, you're wasting your time. So I'm just really thrilled to meet musicians of this caliber and guys that really know sound as well as you do, and forget all the other stuff you do. That's crazy.
Basic overview doesn't do justice to what actually is going on in here, but that in itself was it was fascinating to see. Totally different approach. It's like you're sending smoke signals, or now you've got cell phones. You know what I mean? It is a step up into the modern world. And there's things like tubes that have a certain sound, and they just so far haven't accurately been replicated. But it's not the case with pickups, not anymore. Like, you don't have to have magnets wound with traditional wire and whatever. In fact, I would almost not ever want to do it again. Like, what's the point? We found a better way. What's the point when you can get better results and you don't have to have so much trial and error that only gets you sort of close? So, and the repeatability is amazing too. That's another thing that I like about the pickups, is that you can, if you make one sound great, they'll all sound great. It's not where I've got like 3 of the same pickup and I love this one's okay, and that's kind of anemic. No, it's all 3, 100% same thing. So you have repeatability is another thing that nobody else can touch, I don't think. I have literally been in the studio with guitars that they're just, nothing's happened. I don't like the guitar. I just think it's just, didn't come from the right section of the tree. It's not resonating like I want, whatever. Luck of the draw. It's what happens. Again, repeatability. Wood guitars, there you go. So, it's luck of the draw. But I found that some guitars I had that seemed to be a little more lifeless and more, it was the pickup. Same model pickup. So you think, okay, well, all things are the same. They're not. Where I've taken another of that same pickup, not the Fishman, but of that same pickup, and put it in, and now it came to life. And you're like, I didn't think this was a dud, but it is. How do you have a dud? So it's, so that's the thing, is repeatability. And I have yet to have anything not sound exactly like the one before. Well, going through and actually tweaking, and dialing the pickup in. Ken and Frank came out to Iowa. We went to a little studio for a couple days and got in and got to dig in and play around with the They brought out the computers and did all the tuning and stuff in real time. It was pretty amazing how quickly things came kind of exactly like I wanted. We ended up changing a couple things. I got a different magnet structure that I'm using and stuff. And even though like we did my pickup, I was very happy with what we had. And then Ken's like, what about this? Completely just really added that last little bit of this, there's just a in your hands that's there. It's hard to describe, but it's that 0.5% of whatever additional that just gets you where you want to be. That little bit of life and juice. So
sure. What amazed me more than anything else during the tuning process is understanding how much 1 dB can make to the entire success of the pickup. People think, yeah, plus or minus 3 dB, that's what you can hear. That's crap. 1 dB in a certain spot, up or down, can make it or break it. I'm going like, damn.
For sure. Because
It shocked me.
I dialed my output back a little bit because my previous stuff didn't play very well with overdrives and stuff.
Right.
It was like the output level was kind of crushing.
Yep.
So it was great getting to work with Ken and Frank and play with that, and then actually, like, here's what it sounds like with it up this high.
Yep.
Watch what happens when I bring it down. There you go.
Sure.
So that's not something you can do with a traditional wind
no, you
at
can't,
all. You cannot control that in the slightest.
No, you bring the level down and the whole voicing changes.
Yep. The way my voicing went, I mean, it's sort of been a weird metamorphosis. It went from sort of, I got a lot in this world, and then we made some improvements, and it kind of led me over here, and then you sort of see, and then again with the tech, then you start realizing what's available, anything. And so you don't have the limitations and things holding you back. So it got, I guess the tuning session accelerated. It went from being pretty good early on and then going, wait, hold on. And then we just got extra nuts. And it was fun because at first I went for sort of tones that I'm used to or similar to things that I know or like. And then it was like, well, that's cool, but how about some other stuff? You know, let me get some other information in there that the other pickups have never really had. And so what these are, it's kind of hard to describe. It's like they're a hammer, but they're not a hammer. You know, they're surgical, but they're not, but they can hammer. You know, it kind of all things at all times. It's plenty of low end, but nothing smeary and oomphy and, you know, and woofy. You know, plenty of clarity and cut, but they're not sharp or brittle. It's just one of those things like, how do you tune something the way you want it? It never works out like you want it. And this has worked out like I want it. It's like everything is just where it needs to be. There's enough grind, but there's enough backing off the grind to give you the clarity in your hands. Because I don't like a super high squishy pickup. I like to be able to play. I want to work. You know, I play the notes. I beat the shit out of the guitar and I make it do its thing. If you have super high output, it's just squish and compression, and, you know, and you don't get to speak. You know, a lot of nuance doesn't come out. And so that's another thing is the clarity of the pickups, the ability for intricate, like, technique. You know, you get little tiny sounds to come out of things that you actually notice and they don't just kind of get glossed over.